Hey guys, welcome to another video. So in this video, we'll be covering the Chicago Convention articles number 11 to 16, and these come under the flight over territory of contracting states. So in the last video, we already spoke about what's a contracting state, a bit about Chicago Convention, and we are going through the articles, the multiple number of articles that are there. And for the next few videos, this would be what we will be going through. Now, many of you have been asking me about the air regulations exam as well, and you have been finding difficulty in remembering all these rules and regulations, and you might not find the point of it, but it is important for the exam. What I did back then is I just read through it a few times, solved those question papers in RK Bali, and that kind of helped, right? And also there are questions here and there which you will find on the internet. Even that would be helpful. So let's go on to Article 11 to 16. Applicability of air regulation. Article 11 is applicability of air regulations. All aircrafts are to be treated equal while operating from or in the territory of a nation, irrespective of their nationality. So basically, let it be an aircraft from the US, or let's say an aircraft from Pakistan. If they come to India, they have to be treated equally, right? So that, or let it be any member of the ICAO. If they come to, let's say, India, they all have to be treated equally, right? Article 12 is rules of the air. I want you to remember this, and this is important. Article 12, I say again, is rules of the air. Each contracting state undertakes to adopt measures to ensure that every aircraft flying over or maneuvering within its territory, and that every aircraft carrying its nationality mark, wherever such aircraft may be, shall comply with the rules and regulations relating to the flight and maneuver of the aircraft there in force, right? So basically they are saying that, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say an aircraft from US comes to India. So they would follow the rules of India, the air regulations of India, right? And they will also follow the basic local maneuvering rules of India, or let's say they will follow the ATC or the orders that ATC gives, right, in India when they are in India. They're also saying each contracting state undertakes to keep its own regulations in these respects uniform to the greatest possible extent, and those established from time to time under this convention. Over the high seas, the rules in force shall be those established under this convention. Each contracting state undertakes to ensure the prosecution of all persons violating the regulations applicable. So so we'll divide this into two sections. So first they're saying that each contracting state undertakes to keep its own regulations uniform. So uniform means in a way that there's a basic common ground. Basically, it means that all the members of all the 193 members of ICAO, if they're making rules, it has to have something common with each other, so that it is easy to understand, easy to follow. Let's say if I'm going and flying in the US, there should be rules that make sense to me, because these rules are also there in India and I'm used to these rules in India. So uniformity is something that they're asking for in rules of the air. And in the high seas means it is basically they're referring to the territory or over the oceans which does not belong to any country. There are air spaces which do not belong to any country, for your info. So over there, the rules of ICAO, which is International Civil Aviation Organization, shall be maintained, and all the aircraft flying in the high seas or in territories which do not belong to any country, there they will follow the rules of the ICAO. And let's say if an aircraft of some country does not obey to this rule, they shall be punished by the country that they are from. Okay, That's what Article 12 is stating. Article 13 is entry and clearance regulations. What is that? The laws and regulations of a contracting state as to the admission to or departure from its territory of passengers, crew or cargo of aircraft, such as regulations related to entry, clearance, immigrations, passport, customs and quarantine shall be complied with by or behalf of such passengers, crew or cargo upon entrance into the departure from or while within the territory of that state. So again, I'll explain with an example. So let's say an aircraft from US comes to India. They have to obey our entrance rule, basically immigration. So if any of you have traveled international, let's say if anybody is coming to India, they have to follow our immigration rules, go through customs, show their passports. All these rules are applicable to all the aircrafts and its passengers that are coming in, right? Or if let's say an aircraft goes to US, so if you have been to the US or any other country, you have to show your passport, show your visa, go through customs, follow their rules. That's what this particular article is saying. Article 13, which is entry and clearance regulations. Article 14 is prevention of spread of disease. It says each contracting state agrees to take effective measures to prevent the spread by means of air navigation of cholera, typhus, smallpox, yellow fever, plague, and such other communicable diseases as the contracting state shall from time to time decide to designate. So we all know that the last disease was COVID-19, and we saw that all the countries basically closed its borders. So that was basically to obey Article 14, which is prevention of spread of disease, right? Now Article 15 says that which is airport and similar charges. It says every state shall provide airports and air navigation services available to its own aircraft to all aircraft from other contracting states. Airport and similar charges will not be more than those that will be paid by its national aircraft. So basically they are saying that every country that is a member of the ICAO shall provide all the services that it provides to its own airlines. For example, let's say an American Airlines is coming to India. India is liable to provide all the air navigation services, let's say ATC, all the services at the airport which India is providing to its own airlines, like let's say Indigo, Air India, Vistara is now Air India again. So all the airlines that are operating in India and all the other airlines operating in other countries which are members of ICAO shall get equal services basically. And also they are also saying that for example, Air India used to be the national airline of India. Now any charges that is incurred by the airlines coming in from another country would not be more than that paid by the national airline of the country, right? Now we'll move on to Article 16, which is search of aircraft. The appropriate authorities of each of the contracting state shall have the right, without unreasonable delay, to search aircraft of all other contracting states on landing or departure, and to inspect the certificates and other documents prescribed by the convention. So it is simple. They're just saying that let's say an aircraft is coming to India from other countries, so India has the right to search the aircraft for whatever it is searching for, and also they also have the right to inspect this airline's documents, right? So it is as simple as it is. If you have any doubts, you can of course message me. You can message me on Instagram or whatever means necessary. So that's it guys. Happy landings. Cheers.